Okay, in this video I'm going to be showing you the tool, my main tool that I use to basically organise all of my links and to check the status of these links in terms of their index status, as well as to see how many inbound links are going to each of my tier 1s, tier 2s, tier 3s, and any of my tiers really. The actual name of the tool is called Backlink Monitor. And hopefully by the time you come to watch this video, I will have put this video on this same page and replace the old video, which is a little bit outdated now. But before I actually get into the actual tool and start showing you exactly how I use it, certainly to do my daily SEO, the first thing which I would recommend doing is if you follow any of these links for the actual tool, Backlink Monitor, what it's going to do is going to take you through to the site. As you can see, that's the actual price of the actual product. It is a one-off price as well, so there's no recurring monthly cost for it. But there is another tool which they also sell, which I've not got round to actually promoting or advertising on my site, and certainly explaining how I use it. But if you go to their bundles, little tab at the top there, as you can see, you can actually choose any combinations of their products. So certainly from feedback from people on the forum and other people who I've been speaking to, some people kind of lost out on this. But basically, if you go for the Backlink Monitor tool and the Rank Reporter, which is basically what I use to, this is what it looks like. This is a Rank Reporter tool. It's what I use to check my rankings for all my different sites. But if you don't have a good rank tracking tool, then that's certainly what I suggest doing. And certainly if you go for both of them at the same time, you get to save $20 off your purchase. Again, these are both one-off purchases. So the individual cost of Rank Reporters you'll see here, normally it's sold at $60 for just one single license. So if you need both, this is how I would suggest that you do it, just to save yourself some money as well. Right, so back to the site. Now, in terms of the actual software Backlink Monitor, what I also would suggest doing is having a read in this page. It will certainly give you some insights into why you need to be using a tool such as Backlink Monitor. Certainly if you are going to be using campaigns such as the Full Monty and other variations of campaigns which build multi-tier links. Currently the only real alternative is to use Scrapebox to check the status of your links, but Scrapebox doesn't check and store links by tier. And it certainly doesn't do a great job of checking all the tiers within, for example, a Full Monty campaign. So have a look at the information on here. I've also given a few alternatives in terms of how you can also get your links indexed in here as well by using these Excel strategy templates. The other tool which you're going to need alongside Backlink Monitor is going to be certainly what I use is a tool called Proxy Goblin. Now, when you're using Backlink Monitor for crawling your links, you don't need proxies. You don't even need a VPN. But when you're checking the index status of your links, and when you're doing page rank checks as well on your links, then you're going to have to use either proxies or a VPN. In my experience, when using Backlink Monitor, this is what I prefer to use. The VPN simply doesn't change your IP address quickly enough. If you've got a list of maybe a few hundred or even 1,000 proxies in Backlink Monitor, then when you're sending your queries to Google to find out the page rank or the domain page rank, or you're querying Google to find out the index status of your links, then proxies, and a heck of a lot of proxies, is what you're going to need. So this is the other tool which I certainly recommend investing in. I mean, if you have a source of proxies, great, stick with those. Even Scrapebox itself, it has a feature here where you can basically manage and harvest your own proxies. Fine, if you've got Scrapebox and you're using it, stick to it. It'll still do the same sort of job. It just takes a bit longer to obviously go through the process of harvesting and managing your proxies. Whereas Proxy Goblin, as you'll see here, it just runs 24 hours a day. It's always on, and basically it's got an automated scraper. So these are the settings that I've got in there, and it will just continuously scrape and scrape and scrape and check and filter my proxies to ensure that I always have working proxies. And this, as I'll show you now, all I'll do, I'll just copy this at any time of the day, and I'll go into a Backlink Monitor here. And to get your proxies in here, the first thing you want to do is, if you go into settings, go into configure proxies. You can see that's my old list that I had in there from before, so I'm just going to highlight those, delete them, and then just paste in a fresh list of proxies. And basically every time I start to work on a particular campaign or a project, I will always do that. I will always go straight to Proxy Goblin, grab the latest working proxies, and just paste them in straight into the software. Okay, now when you get backlink monitoring, you start obviously looking through it and you start wondering what to do. The first thing I'd recommend doing is basically, go through each of these options to make yourself familiar with what the software is capable of doing, because underneath every tab there is another tab and series of options, and the software itself will do lots of different things, which hopefully I'm going to try and demonstrate on this video. I'm not going to go through every single option here. I'm only going to go through the options that I use, and certainly show you how I use them in my daily SEOs. Okay, so we've got the proxies in there, that's working. Next thing we want to do, we actually want to set up a project here. So if I just go over to SEOUKX, I'm going to import some of my, I've got some projects here, some full Monty v3s in my archives. So I'm just going to take a couple of these just to show you, and these will hopefully serve as good examples, simply because these campaigns specifically build multi-tier links. Now, in terms of analysing these using Scrapebox, it's impossible. It is impossible to check your tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 links. So you can see these are run, completed. These campaigns are actually probably about a month old. Some of these probably older. I mean, if you ever look at this, I mean, the last time you got dates in November here in there, which is the last time that was modified. And here again, as we can see, the last time that this was initially set up, this is November. It probably finished running sometime in January, so it's at least 3 weeks old. And hence, a lot of these URLs that have been created aren't as many as they could have been. But the purpose, and certainly the reason why I'm just going to use these two as an example, is just to show you, what to do once your campaign's finished within SEOUKX. So first, as you can see, green ticks along all of them, simply to indicate that the entire campaign is finished. So when you get to this stage, what you want to do, you want to go to your URLs tab, like so, sort the column which says type, so you have all your page URL lists together, and basically you just want to select all the page URL lists. Ignore the RSS ones; they serve a completely different purpose, and certainly, the RSS ones you don't want to be putting them in the backlink monitor. You're only interested in the page ones. The other thing I do, I hold down a control key and just deselect the money site URL, because I don't want my actual money site URL being put into backlink monitor, because what that will tell the software to do is to crawl all the pages on my site. I don't want it to do that. I'm only interested in the tier 1 and above links, which is what all of the, as you can see, the remaining highlighted blue ones are. Then I just right click, combine URL lists. As you can see here, in here I now have 1,290 links from this single full Monty campaign. If I double click that, you can see all the links stored in there. Now obviously there's a lot of duplicates in there, because the software will record and extract URLs from every module it runs. So there will be duplicates in here. If you want, you can deselect this just to see how many are left without duplicates. But Backlink Monitor will filter your duplicates, so there's no real need to do that. And I'll just highlight all of them. Just hit copy a couple of times, and then I'll just go straight in here and then paste those very same URLs within Backlink Monitor. Now, in terms of the root URL, I need to update this to actually tell the software what's the domain URL it's going to check. So this is for my health insurance site. So I'm just going to navigate to my health site just to get the domain URL. Yeah. Okay, I'm just going to paste that in there. So there's the domain URL. You can also, rename the project. The initial one, it always needs to have at least one project in there. So, this is a default one. So I'm just going to name this one Full Monty Health Insurance. And what you name your projects are entirely up to you. But obviously, use the names to help keep yourself organised, so you know which campaigns are what. Okay, so let's go to the end of this list. So that's just a whole load of links from different tiers, just from one full Monty campaign. If I go to the next full Monty campaign, we'll do the exact same thing again. The page URL lists are already sorted. I'm going to ignore the money site URL list, and I'm just going to highlight the ones that say page URL list. And again, just combine URLs. Just double click that to open it. Okay, and just click copy a couple of times, and then just right click and paste into the list. So there's not a lot of URLs in here really, and the reason I'm doing it this way is simply if I use my actual health insurance project with 180,000 links, the video would be extremely long, simply to show you, the process of even crawling these links, which I'm going to show you in a second now. So now I've got my links in there from 2 full multi-campaigns. Well, certainly the next thing I'll do is I want to sort and remove all the duplicate URLs. So if you just go into Tools, click that option once, and it's done it already. So now in this list I only have unique URLs. All the duplicates are gone. Now the other thing which I need to point out as well is in terms of the actual project settings. For this particular project setting, if I just go into Advanced Project Settings, if we start with the first tab, General, you can see the options. Certainly when you first install it, these are the default settings, when you first install the software. So if you want the software to do all of these, one after the other, then obviously you want to make sure they're all ticked. And this will automate the entire process of checking each of the tiers, sorting out the tiers as well within a link hierarchy tab, checking the page rank of all the pages for the domain and the individual pages, and then obviously this one will then check each of those links for the index status. Personally, this is what I do. It's up to you if you want to just do that, which will just crawl and organize your links. If you just leave it like this, you don't need proxies. The proxies are only needed for when you check the page rank and for when you do the index check, simply because these two options will ping and query Google server. And Google obviously they don't like these automated software bots, and they will block your IP. Hence why you need proxies. So this is what I do. Crawler settings is the next tab. I should imagine the default settings are like so. When you first install the software, this is most probably what it will look like so. Crawler delay will be 0 seconds. The timeout will be 30. The user agent, I think default is Internet Explorer 8. Crawler thread count is normally set at 5 as default, and this option here to process links in JavaScript is actually deselected. That's the default settings. What I do, I increase the crawler timeout. The reason why I do that, I increase up to 60, simply because I run mine at 25 threads. I run it at max, and obviously with so many threads running at the same time, it's certainly going to use a lot of internet bandwidth. You can only really do this if you have a good and fast internet connection. So obviously to compensate the timeout, because the software is having to do more threads simultaneously, I personally increase the timeout settings just to compensate for the 25 threads. The user agent, you can pick and choose as you please. You can alter that between checks if you wanted to. This option here though, the process links in JavaScript, this really has to do with the Googlebot, in terms of how the Googlebot works and crawls links on the internet. Google apparently have problems discovering and scanning links that are actually in JavaScript. So if you want to mimic what Google will see when they scan the internet, then leave this option as it is without the tick. If however you want to see the full picture and you want to see all of the links that actually exist on the internet, then do what I do. Keep this box ticked, and that way it will process all the links in JavaScript. But because Google clearly have problems processing all of these links in JavaScript, it's up to you which one you want to do. If you want to mimic what Google does, do that. If you want to see the full picture, do that. That's really it in terms of settings. This stuff I personally don't do. I don't need to. If you have additional URLs here that you want to check, for example like YouTube or Twitter or URLs from other domains, then put them in here. That's what this is for. And just right click, paste in the URLs. But in terms of just basic settings, these are the only two you need to be worried about, and then just click OK. Now, those settings, because I've gone through the Advanced tab, those settings I've applied will only apply to this project. If you want to do global settings, then what you need to do is go in Settings and go into the default project settings, and then alter your options. As you can see here, the default ones, it still shows the previous settings. This isn't checked. 5 threads, 30-second crawler count, and in general, these aren't ticked. So any new and future projects I now create, they will use the default settings. So if I want every one of my projects that I set up in Backlink Monitor to have the same settings, then you want to do all of this. Well, I want to do all of this because, like I said, these are the settings which I find work best for me and my computer and my internet connection. And then click OK. And now that I've done that in the default settings, when I go to create a new project, and give it a name, put the root URL in there, it will use those settings which I've just shown you. So cancel that. Okay, so now that we've got the settings in place, these are all done. We've also done the proxies, because I showed at the beginning of the video. I've just put them all in there. That is it. You're now good to go. So the next thing you do is basically click the go button, like so. And basically the software is going to get to work now. So at the bottom here, it basically tells you what's going on and what it's doing. Over here in the first tab, the Backlinks tab, this will show you the actual crawl results. So you see the URLs appearing here, the actual URLs of the pages that it's linking to. You've got status here, which I'll explain in a moment. Your OBLs, whether it's no follow, indicated with a cross, and if it's blank, it means it is a follow link. You got your domain PR, which is the page rank of the actual domain the link is on. The page PR, which is the actual page rank of the page where your link resides. The index status, it will simply say yes or no once it's done its check. And obviously you got your anchor text there, which will show you the many different variations. And you'll see as well when you use the software, you have anomalies like this. You'll have anchor text with the word all, or things like this, which are completely irrelevant to clearly my health insurance site. But again, this illustrates the importance of doing this process, checking your links, because if I pick a link which has this in my anchor text, then why on earth would I want to waste my time and resources building more links to a tier 1 link with this in the anchor text? Because clearly my health insurance site, I don't want to rank it for this keyword phrase. So again, a very important reason why you want to be doing this process. And then the last column there just shows your IP address. So this is just the backlinks tab. This just shows you basically what's going on, what it's found. I don't actually do any filtering or any work in here at all. To be honest, I no longer look at this tab. The tab I'm really interested in is the link hierarchy one, which at the moment it's going to be blank, I should imagine. Yep, because it's still crawling, still sorting out the tiers and organising things. Once it's finished crawling, that's when you'll see in a moment, you'll see all the URLs in here organised by tier as well. Now the second tab along here, the changes tab, this simply updates the URLs, anchor text and the statuses of any links that have either been added to this project. So if they're new links and haven't been crawled before, then the status will be new. The other status which I've seen here is basically if a link becomes dead or removed, then the status of that will be highlighted in red. So obviously if you're doing this check, or this crawl check, daily, weekly, monthly, then obviously each time you run it, there's going to be changes here. You have new links being added to your list, and obviously some of your old links from maybe a few weeks or months ago, they're going to die off. So this is where you can see that information. The anchor text column, tab rather, is quite a useful one in terms of seeing what kind of job you're doing overall for particular keywords. For example, I mean, it's still crawling and you can see the numbers still increasing, but for example, this particular keyword phrase, you can see so far it's found 46 instances of that exact keyword phrase within all of my anchor text for all of my tiers. So this really just gives me a general overview of how many links do I actually have out there with my actual target keyword phrase in it. And plus you can see as a snapshot in terms of, well, I've got 53 links now. How many different IPs have I got these keywords from? As you can see, it's 18 at the moment, which is pretty poor, really. But like I said, it's not finished crawling. And this is also just for 2 campaigns for the full Monty. This particular project here, this is not my entire site. I actually have a separate project, which I've labelled Health Insurance All Tiers, and every single link from every single campaign will go into that project, the Backlink Monitor. And I use that to see the bigger picture for my actual site. So this tab it's quite useful to see, because obviously you get a breakdown of all your anchor text, and you can see where all these links are coming from, how many different IP addresses they're coming from. The goal here is to have as many IP addresses as possible, because each IP represents potentially one site on the internet. And in terms of popularity, which is really what SEO is all about, and certainly what ranking is all about, then clearly the more IPs you have, more unique IPs you have, with your links on them, then the easier it is going to be to rank, generally speaking. Obviously, there's a whole load of other metrics involved with that, but the actual metrics and the stuff that I'm really interested in is what happens in here, the link hierarchy tab. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to pause the vid, let this finish running. and then hopefully I'll then continue in the link hierarchy tab and show you exactly what I'm doing here. Okay, this is now finished running. As you can see, I'm in the link hierarchy tab, and all of the URLs that were actually crawled. Obviously, in this backlinks tab, it will show the ones with page errors, and no doubt there will be some in there with no backlink. In terms of the meanings of these, I mean, the page error simply means, well, actually, just right-click and open URL. It simply means that there was something wrong with the actual URL being loaded. So in this particular case, you can see that the URL no longer exists simply because these guys have suspended the URL, so they've removed it from their website. See if I can find a different one just to show you different examples. This one again, error, page is not active. Different websites, it's a forum now. Encoding error. Let's try to find another one. Oh, it's actually on the bestspinner.com forum. So you can see the page errors are simply links that used to exist. Because obviously, you know, the links that you've put in here were created via SNUX. So the fact that they're now showing as page errors simply means that those pages don't exist anymore. You know, so there's no point really even spending any time looking at those links. They're dead basically, and they're not coming back. Now, the ones with no backlink, hopefully this will have a slightly different scenario. So this is obviously, you can see the actual post that I created initially is still there. The reason why it would say no backlink is simply because the software has checked it against one of your tiers. So if we just follow this through manually, if I click on this link here, that actual link is linking to a dead link. As you can see, I've got this open DNS guide because the link that this bookmark is pointing to doesn't exist anymore. So although you can see visually here that yes, it's a link, and you can see the title compare private health insurance, it is an actual link I created with the full Monty. But this is just one example of how, if you have a look at the bottom here, how that particular URL there, petzoom.com, if I click on it again, it doesn't exist anymore. So this is what the software does. It plans ahead. You know, obviously, you know, you click on any of these no backlink ones, and you'll probably see, no doubt, you'll see a valid link there. But the point is, if you follow the links from this page all the way through to your own site, you won't get to your own site, because this is what Backlink Monitor's done. It crawls each tier of your links, follows them all the way through to your root URL, in my case, to my health insurance site. And basically, where it then follows those URLs and doesn't find the URL going all the way to your homepage, it will report back as no backlink. So that's something else to bear in mind. You know, don't get disappointed by seeing loads of links saying, you know, no backlink. This one again, you can see there is my actual link that I created on the forum. If you have a look at the bottom there, you can see the URL it's supposed to be going to. If I click on the URL, let's see what happens when I go there. So you can see it's going on sugar.com, which is most probably where I used to have a link, but no doubt that URL doesn't exist anymore, which is hence why now it's telling me to log in. So that's simply what no backlink means. It simply means that the page is there, so it's not come up as a page error, but the link that page is linking to doesn't exist anymore. Be it a tier 3, tier 2, tier 1 link, the software hasn't found the trail back to your root URL. Okay, so in terms of filtering in here, it's you know, filtering the URLs you want to play with. It's you know, I don't do it in a backlinks tab. I do it in a link hierarchy tab in here, because every single link that's in here, it's organized by tier. You know, you can see the relationships between each of your links within the link hierarchy tab. We've also recently had the other metrics such as OBLs, no follow, put into this link hierarchy tab, because previously on a previous version it wasn't there. You could only see the no follow and OBLs on the backlinks tab, but now we've got all the metrics in the link hierarchy. So really and truly, any link filtering you do now, do it in a link hierarchy tab. You know, don't look at any of these other tabs in terms of you know, filtering, managing these links. Now, in terms of filtering, the way to do this now, if you click on Tools and then go to Selection Tool, this is the most recent feature that was added. This is a tool that you should use to filter out your links depending on what you actually want to do with them. Because there's loads of things you can do with these links. You know, the first priority should be to identify all of the links that have an end status as index. and to get those links turned into a Y status. Basically to get those links in Google Search Engine Index. By simply turning these links that have an N status into a Y, that will be the first step towards increasing your rankings. Simply because every single one of these links that turns into a Y, each will have its own added value in terms of the link will have its own domain PR, it will have its own number of OBLs, but more importantly of all, each of these sites have their own IP address. So the more links you can get indexed from the greater variety of IP addresses, that then shows Google that your website popularity is growing. Certainly, if you are making these new index links appearing gradually over time. The last thing you want to do, certainly you don't want to do this, is take 10,000 non-index links and try get them all indexed in a day. That's seriously dangerous. You don't want to be doing that. In the same way as I certainly do my SEO, I build my tier 1 links gradually over time. I certainly build my tier 2, tier 3s gradually over time, quicker than I do my tier 1s. But I certainly, I wouldn't blast out 10,000 links at a time in one go to get thousands of links indexed. I wouldn't do that. Whatever SEO I do, I always spread out my submissions over a week, 2 weeks, or even a month, even 2 months. So, in terms of the first step here, I would certainly identify all of the links that are not indexed. So, in terms of the filter here, just if you leave the no with a tick on it and then hit apply, you can see here the color of these have changed, and it's only highlighting any links that now have an N status. So if I now copy all of those URLs, I've now got all of my live links from any tier, because I've not actually put any filter here for the tiers. I've just left it as any. So these are all my non-index links from any tier within those 2 full Monty campaigns. And ideally, yes, I'd just copy those and put in my Backlinks indexer software, membership, or paste them into Bookmarking Daemon and then build loads of bookmarks to those, or even take these and put them in my X8 Profile New template and build 21,000 links to all of these links, over a period of 30 days, or randomized. So again, it depends on what you want to do. That will dictate in terms of what sort of filters do you or will you apply in here. Now, the other thing to note as well is you can see these 3 links here. Look at the anchor text. The anchor text for these 3 URLs is obviously not related to my health site at all. And certainly if I scan down here, you can see there's some others here which have been highlighted in blue as not indexed. But again, the anchor text, there's no anchor text there. Now, the reason why those links have been highlighted as well is because I've not put any filter here in the anchor text. Now, there's a few different ways you can filter these links. Me personally, if I wanted to, from these 2 campaigns, if I wanted to just focus on indexing these links, personally what I would do, because I know that my this particular campaign is for my keyword phrase health insurance quotes, what I would do is this. I'd use the star symbol, put in just that single word quote, because I know that all of my keywords here have that word quote in there, or the plural version word quote. But by putting the star before and after the word quote and hitting apply, what this will now do is it's going to filter all of my not indexed links from any of my tiers, because I left that as any, with any number of OBLs up to 999. I personally not apply that filter, and I personally don't. Certainly for when I want to index links. But the anchor text, I've specified the word quote. So if I now scan through these, hopefully as I scroll through, you will see that it's already dismissed these 3 anchor text URLs. Yeah, because I'm not interested in these. Why on earth do I want to get these links indexed when the actual anchor text itself is the word all? It's not going to help my rankings. If these get naturally indexed by Google, great. No problem. But I'm certainly not going to spend money on Backlinks indexer and waste those resources where I have a limited number of links every day on indexing these links. Certainly this one here as well, you can see, although it's not indexed, there's no anchor text. So software has automatically ignored that. And likewise, you can see here, there's many other instances. Now, if you have a look at some of these other ones, this one here, for example, the anchor text itself, it is the actual URL that I created on Posterius.com, but because the word quote appears in that URL, the software has highlighted it, also because it's not indexed. Now, different people no doubt will have different opinions on this, but this is my opinion. Indexing this link will still have value, yeah. Not just in terms of providing variety in my anchor text, but also because my keywords are still within this URL. The word quotes is there, the word insurance is there, the word medical is there. Even though it's not written as an actual keyword phrase, medical insurance quotes online, the fact that the words are there in the URL means that the words are there in the anchor text, which means that indexing this link will still have value on my rankings for any of my keyword phrases that have these words in them. So personally, I believe that there is still value and it's worth time spending indexing these links that have these anomalies with with other variations of what my actual keyword was. So I would still take these links, build more links of them, and I would still focus on indexing them. See if I can give you some more examples of some other anomalies that I'd still go for. I mean, even here again, you can see it's another variation of the same thing. Again, I'd keep that in there. Even this one, this is another one on wiki spaces. A strange anchor text, as you can see there. But again, I will still focus on getting this links index. I wouldn't necessarily make it my main focus of powering up links to it, but certainly there is no harm in getting this link index. There is actually more benefit than harm in getting this link index. If you look at the actual URL here, my main 3 terms for this particular campaign is health insurance quotes. Well, look how many times those words appear within that URL. I've got health insurance quotes there, and I've got instant health insurance quote 54, as the actual blog name. So for me, getting this link index, there's still value in that. I'll still do it, even though it shows as no follow status. That has a different aspect than no follow and do follow. That's purely about link juice. In ranking terms, this still has value, and I personally will still focus on getting this link index. Now, if you scroll down further, you can see because of the filters I applied there, because these particular URLs have no anchor text, the software has automatically ignored them. Even though the index status is no, the software has ignored them automatically. Yeah, this one here, health insurance, it's obviously not picked up because the filter I applied was quote. So that's the reason why this particular URL didn't get added to the filtered list here. So for indexing purposes, that's probably one way I personally would do it. I'd pick one word and put stars at the beginning and end of it, just to filter out all of your anchor text, the URLs with the related anchor text in there. And these personally, I would copy all of these now, the ones I highlighted, and put them straight into Backlinks Indexer. I'd also put them into my bookmarking daemon tool and bookmark all of these links as well. Now the other way of doing this filter, if I just remove that, if you type in a keyword, for example health insurance quotes, and then you hit apply, I'm going to leave the same filters with which is only going to show me my non-index links. If I hit apply now, what this is now going to do, if you don't use those stars or that asterisk symbol in there, whatever keyword phrase you put in here, the software will automatically filter the exact match anchor text to what you put in here. So if I just scroll back up again, as you can see, there's not many of them. I mean, this one is an exact match, health insurance quote. It's ignored all the others. Even this one here, health insurances quotes. So my other 2 terms of plural versions here, the software has ignored it because I've told it to. And like I said, if you type in your keyword phrase in here, but don't use any of those star symbols, it will only pick up the exact match versions of it. So it will ignore any plural versions of it, or even where your words are in different orders, it will ignore it. So if you type your exact keyword in there, just be aware of how it works. Don't start getting concerned and wondering why is it only showing me 1 or 2 links highlighted here. When I can see loads more. The next thing that you can do is you can put a star on the end of that. Now, by putting a star on the end of this, what it's going to do is going to tell the software to filter all the links that have health insurance quotes in there. Yeah. So it's going to do an exact match, but it's also going to pick up the other variations of health insurance quotes as a phrase. So if I hit apply, you can hopefully see what's going to happen next. A few more have been added in there. So you can see here, health insurance quote UK. So it's found the exact match keyword phrase, but then because there's another variation on the end there, the software, because I put the star in there, it's picked up the other variation. Yeah. And if I just find a few more there, so here again, exact same keyword, but then another word on the end, health insurance quote comparison. Now, by using a filter like this, you're not going to pick up the other words. So here, for example, I've got online quote health insurance. The same 3 words are there, but they're in a different order. because of how I've applied the filter, the software will ignore that keyword phrase. So you're probably wondering, well, how do I get that keyword phrase in there then? Yeah, alright. So to do that, if I want all variations of the keyword phrase health insurance quote in any order, then what you do is this. You take each individual word and you put a star or that asterisk symbol in between every single word. Yeah. Now if I hit apply, you can now hopefully see the difference. You can see loads more have been added again. Now what this has done is picked up each variation of the word health, insurance and quote. So here, for example, it's picked up the word health there, then it's picked up the word insurance, then it's picked up the word quotes within a plural version of quotes. And same again here, family health insurance quotes online. But again, what it's done now is it's picked up the other variations, but it's only picked up the words in that order. Yeah. So in order to get these other keyword phrases, for example, online quote health insurance, that is the reason why I would then use the filter like so, quote, because I know, because of all my anchor texts that I've used, I know that all of my keywords have the three words, health insurance quote, but the one keyword that's going to identify all of these apart is the word quote. So if I hit apply now, there you go. It's now done the other keyword phrases for me, highlighted all of those, and again, it's only picked the non-index URLs because of how I left the filter there. So hopefully that will give you a few ideas and certainly a few ways of using this anchor text filter here. It depends on the command and the star and how you use the star in relation to the words you put in here. So hopefully that will give you some ideas in terms of how to filter these words and the URLs that were actually important to you. Now, in terms of these other metrics, I get asked a lot about these. Again, it depends what you want to do. I mean, there's a nofollow. Let's just shrink all of these so you can see the other bits in a bit more detail. You've obviously got the nofollow option. Now, my understanding of this nofollow, really, it was introduced to kind of deter spammers from bombarding blogs and bookmarking sites and all these other types of sites on the internet. Really, what the nofollow does, it stops the link juice from being passed from one site to the website that it links to, and that's all it does. It just prevents the link juice from being passed on. So in terms of like your own website's page rank, be it PR0, PR1, PR2, PR3, this is where the nofollow tag comes into play. That is it. That's all it's for. It just prevents link juice being passed on through that link. In terms of ranking, this makes no difference at all. So if you're only interested in ranking your website for your target keyword phrases, I ignore this column completely. But if, however, you want to focus on increasing the page rank of your own website, and you want to focus on links that do pass link juice, then what you also want to do here, as you can see the nofollow line, what you want to do, you want to only be interested in the ones that actually are followed. So if you if you just have nofollow no and then hit apply, then obviously it's going to ignore any of the links that have an X in there. So again, it depends on what you want to do, really. I personally, I don't bother about this. The nofollow, there's enough things to worry about already. But again, like I said, it depends on what you want to do. If you want to focus on, for example, your OBLs that only have 10 outgoing links, and combine that with only your nofollow links, then fine. Again, you can hit apply, and it will do that. It will then restrict the filtered URLs to only those that have less than 10 outbound links. Now, certainly based on what I've certainly shared in the forum recently, any link that you have, if you have links that have too many outbound links, from a link juice perspective, it's going to seriously dilute the value of that link, big time. So in terms of powering up links, either choosing 10 or even as high as 20 if you like. You can apply this filter, and when it comes to building campaigns that will power up your links, campaigns that will build tier 2 or tier 3 links, then yes, this may be a good time to obviously use this OBL filter. You may also just want to focus on the links that have perhaps maybe domain PR5 or 4 or higher even, and just focus on those links, simply because if you have a link that has that's on a domain with a high PR, just simply building a few links to the page will increase the page PR of that site quite significantly. And I can show you an example of that. Let's go. Alright, I've got too many URLs open. Okay, my YouTube channel, for example. You all know how recently I set up this. Okay, I just want to. You all know how recently I set up this page. This is brand new. Even here it says this video was launched about a month ago. Well, look at the page PR. It's page rank 3 now. The actual page. And the reason why this is a page rank 3, which is actually it's got a higher PR than my actual home pages from my own website. But the reason why the YouTube channel now is a page rank 3 is because the domain PR, if I just show you, on youtube.com, it's page rank 9. So, these high PR sites, any page you create on a high domain, high PR site, and then you throw a few links at it, a few high PR links at that URL, get those links indexed, the page PR value, as you can see here, this was cached, January 22nd, so this is almost a month ago that this was last visited by Google and updated. So this has been PR free for a while now. But any domain PR, any page with any website with a high domain PR, you then build a page on it and then build links to it. The page PR value will increase very, very quickly, very easily. Obviously, if your domain PR is a PR 0, and you're creating a page on it, and then you try and build links to it, it's not going to have as a significant impact on the PR value of a particular page. This has happened on YouTube simply because the domain PR of YouTube is a PR 9. So any page you build on YouTube and build links to it, it's going to automatically increase in page rank with minimal effort. So, based on that example, if we get back to the software now again, there's some of these links that have, domain PR 7s, domain PR 5s. There's quite a few, mixed batch of URLs here. So, again, building links to these links that have high domain PR already, if you throw some links that are from other high PR sites, then over time the page PR of these links will increase. It will. It just happens. Simply because the link juice is going into your actual links. So this is where the value is in building links to your links. But obviously, before you start building links to your links, what you want to do is filter out your links in the first place. Because, like I said, the anchor text here is blank. The anchor text here is the word all. No bearing on my target keywords. Even this one, that is the full URL, but you can see my keywords aren't in there, health insurance quotes. So, this particular anchor text, there's no point building more links to it. No point at all. It's a waste of time. So just focus on the anchor text that you're interested in, using this filter. Hopefully you remember, or just rewind the video and watch it again. You remember the combination of asterisks here. It's up to you if you want to apply the filters and OBLs. For tiers, if you just want to highlight your tier 2 links, just get rid of this. Let's take this back to 999. I keep both. If you just want to take your tier 2 links that aren't indexed, again, let me put my filter in so I just have my keywords that I'm interested in. So there's all my tier 2 links, that are actually having the keywords that I'm interested in the anchor text. I don't care about the OBLs. I'll put the tier 2 filter in, so these are only my tier 2s. I've got the domain PR of 4. I left that as it was. So these are PR 4 plus links. Domain PR links that I've got. So if I now take these URLs out and put these into another campaign, say for example my X8 profile nuke, and build a whole load of related links, so I'll have all my spun variations of the anchor text there, and put that into the X8 profile nuke, that's going to build more high PR links to these links. And because these have high domain PRs, PR 4 and above, as I showed you with the YouTube example, again, the same will apply here with the page PRs. Over time, when the links that I point to these tier 2s, over time, when those links get indexed and crawled by Google, the page PRs of these will increase. When the page PR of these increase, because these point to my money site, the rankings for the keywords within these anchor texts will then increase as well. So, with SEO, it's not just about building a shitload of tier 1 links. There's a lot more to it than that. Building tier 1 links is just the first step. Certainly with my actual health insurance site, what I'll do, I'll pause the video in a moment and I'll load up my health insurance site projects and I'll show you exactly what's going on in there. But basically, as far as I've got so far, I've built a shitload of tier 1 links for my health site, which is just the first step. I've still got to get those links indexed. turn these N's into Y's. Then I also need to work on the inbound links, because a lot of my tier 1 links at the moment, they have 0 as inbound links, which means I haven't built any links to them. I haven't made my tier 1 links look popular. So if my tier 1 links have no inbound links going to them, then how on earth is the page PR going to increase? Remember, PageRank is Google's way of indicating the authority and the trust of a particular page. Well, if my link has no inbound links, then the page PR will basically stay blank. If I build maybe 100 links to this particular URL from a mixture of PR1, PR2, PR3, PR4, PR5 and upwards sites to this link, and then get those indexed, then yeah, the page PR here will increase, and hence whatever I've got in my anchor text there, that's what my rankings will increase for within Google. So I hope that kind of helps give you some pointers in terms of what you should be doing in here with this tool. Remember, you could either use it for setting up your links to go into your indexing campaigns. You could use these filters to target specific tiers, one at a time. And then obviously once those campaigns are finished, get the URLs, put them back in there again. Get the links crawled again. And then reanalyze this and look at the patterns that's going on in here. Okay, I'm just going to pause this vid. Give me 2 seconds and I'm going to import my actual health insurance project. And, hopefully you'll see the bigger picture in a moment. Okay, I've loaded up my health insurance project. As you can see here, this is what I do with my sites anyway. For each project, I will have one that I call all tiers, and that is the project that will get all of my URLs from all of my campaigns, software, tools, link building services. Every single URL from every tier will get put in here. Yeah. But also, as you probably noticed, what I also like to do is alongside the main campaign. The main project file for all tiers, I also create these individual projects for each of my campaigns. Certainly, for campaigns that will target particular groups of keywords, it's certainly a lot easier and quicker to manage a few thousand links. Certainly when you get to my stage, or if you get to my stage, and you have a website that has 176,000 links going to it, then you may start to appreciate and understand why I do things this way. But to give you sort of a bit of an inkling in terms of what's going on with these projects at the moment, for example, if I show you my anchor text, the actual count, these are the instances, or rather how many times that particular keyword phrase has appeared within my anchor text within any of my tiers. So you can see, generally speaking, a lot of these keywords here, they're nearly over 400 different IP addresses. And the majority of these links here, they've been done all within SNUX. I've not actually done that much extra work for this health insurance site, not for this particular site anyway. Not using my other tools. This one predominantly I've just been using SNUX X and my whole range of X8 templates. But in terms of the link hierarchy, you can see here, the homepage, just the homepage alone, it's got 18,700 links. Which is a shitload of links. But in terms of those 18,700, if we just go to my homepage, this is hopefully give you another example of another question I was asked the other day about these data sources. There's a new one here that these guys SEO Book have incorporated. Ahref and Majestic SEO. But as far as Majestic SEO is concerned, as far as it's concerned, I've got 13,000 links pointing to my domain. Well, I've built 18,700 links to my domain, that I know are live because they're here. These are the URLs. These are the 18,702 links. They're right here. I can see them. I can see how many inbound links they have, what the domain PR is, page PR, reindex status. All the information I've got that I need is here in front of me within Backlink Monitor because I built the links. I put the links in here. I hit go and analyze them. Yeah. So as far as I'm concerned, this data here is 100% accurate, because I'm the one that created these links and I'm the one that's monitoring these links. However, when you start looking at external data sources, these guys don't have access to the links that I've built. They have their own crawlers which potentially mimic what the Googlebot does, crawls the internet. Same with these new guys, Ahref, a new company on the scene trying to provide these data sources. But, seriously, there's 5,000 links that these guys don't know about. So Think about that when you're using your tools that use Majestic SEO as a data source. Market Samurai uses Majestic SEO as a data source. Micro Niche Finder does the same. In fact, nearly every single keyword tool out there uses these external data sources. But look at the difference in data there. And even my own, Sick SEO website. This is saying that I've got 95 links. 95. I've got, I don't know, what, 10,000? I think 10,000 links going to my homepage at the moment, but Majestic SEO is telling me, hey, I've got 95. So there's a pretty big difference there between what they think I've done and what I know I've done. So again, another reason why you need to be using this tool to basically stay in control of your own SEO. I use this personally to keep track of all my links. I can see the index status of my links quite clearly. I can see which ones aren't indexed. So, if I want to increase my rankings for this keyword, well, I need to get this link indexed. And there's loads of different ways and methods to get a link indexed. But yeah, these 18,702 links going to my homepage. That's how many tier 1 links I have. Just tier 1s. Doesn't include my other tiers. And as I scroll down here, if you have a look at the inbound links column, it will show you how many of my tier 1 links actually have links going to them. And obviously, if I expand each one, you can see what the links are and where they've come from. In that particular one, it all seems to be coming pretty much from the same place. But as you expand each tier, when you create your links, the software will automatically organize all of these links for you. Let's close it up. But as I scroll further down this list, you can see that obviously the inbound link is going to decrease. But there's from here onwards 0 inbound links. So this is how many tier 1 links I've created, but I haven't got round to building more links to these links. I haven't got round to putting these links in an indexing service either, because time and resources really is what it comes down to. Because to get 18,700 links indexed, even with Backlink's indexer, that's potentially that's at least a month, maybe 2 months subscription to get just these tier 1 links indexed. That's not including all of these other internal links here. If I expand this, remember within the entire project there's 170,000 links. Just using Backlink's indexer alone to index this volume of links is it's going to take a lot of time and a lot of money, to say the least. But obviously, based on what I've said already in this video, a lot of these links I'm not interested in. Like this one, for example, there's no anchor text. All of these ones, they all come from the same domain. They're actually different URLs, but they're on the same domain. But more importantly, the anchor text, it has no relevance to my actual project. So, although there's loads of links in here, there's a lot of links here that aren't important, that I don't need. And really what my plan is for this particular site is basically to target specific keywords, applying these filters. So for example, again, if I wanted to just look at my non-index links from any tier, and I wanted to just apply the filter again, and hit apply, that potentially has amongst these 176,000 links, it's automatically filtered the particular links there with the anchor text that I need. Obviously, if I want to get more focused on this and actually go for particular keyword phrases, for example, if I wanted to go for health plans and that was the only anchor text that I was interested in, then yeah, I can just come in here anytime I like, hit apply, for that filter, and that's exactly what the software will do. It will pick out all of the keywords within the entire software that I've got for that particular anchor text. But also you can see here also, the index column, there's quite a few bits and figures missing. So this is another thing you can do as well. You can just select the unknown ones, remove the anchor text filter. You can just apply the unknown ones, hit apply. And what that's going to do, anything that has an unknown index status, it will highlight that for you. And then obviously, if you're just going to configure proxies, put a new list of proxies in there. Because I've already used this once for one project, so it's better to just go, into your, if it's Proxy Goblin or Scrapebooks or wherever you get your proxies from, get a nice fresh list of proxies. I'm just going to copy those out from there. Just paste them back in again. And if I want to check the index status of these, right click, select Update Index. And now what that's going to do is going to now fill up these gaps and basically check all of these. Identify what the actual index status is of these links. The other thing, let me just stop that. The other thing which you'll also want to do is because the software, where the index status is at the moment, where it's got N or Y, these figures are actually stored within its cache of the software. Now, as time goes on, a lot of these N links, the ones that are shown as not indexed, they are going to get indexed, based on what SEO efforts you do, what link building campaigns you launch. So what you will want to do is at some point, certainly this is what I do before I decide to put my links back into Backlinks Indexer, I will initially filter all the links that have a no status, hit apply, and then what I'll do, I'll right click on that and select update index. What this will do, it will check all of the links that are showing as not indexed, and it will check them again against Google's database to see if that link is now indexed or not. Now this actual step is very, very important to do before you put your links into a paid indexing service, because if you don't, what's going to happen is some of these links that are shown as N, they are actually going to be indexed, but unless you actually do a recent check on these, then you're potentially going to be putting index links into Backlinks Indexer. If you're using Nuclear Link Indexer, it gives you statistics on how many of your links are indexed or not. And again, that's going to be giving you very misleading figures because you're going to be relying on the software here reporting the link as not indexed. But if you fail to do this update index thing, then potentially some of these links could actually be indexed. And you put them in Nuclear Link Indexer, and it's going to show you that, hey, you've got hundreds of links indexed, and you're going to think, great, Nuclear Link Indexer is a service for me. No, it's because you've put index links into the service. So like I said, this is very important to do. How often, how frequently you want to do this is entirely up to you. I personally, I've switched back to Backlinks Indexer, and because of the volume of URLs that I'm putting in there, I mean, you can see how many URLs I'm having to play with, and with just this one project. I've got 6 projects at the moment. This is just one, my biggest one, but this is one of them. I don't touch Backlinks Indexer for a month. I'll go in there, I'll put in my 10 to 15,000 non-index URLs, and I'll leave it for a month. Then next month I'll go back into Backlink Monitor. I'll check all of my links that I've got, check the ones for the latest index status, and then obviously anything that still shows as not indexed, I will then copy and paste those into Backlinks Indexer, or any of my other tier 2 campaigns, or bookmarking daemon. There's numerous tools and services to do that for you. So that's something very important to do, certainly before you decide to do any more indexing. Yeah, because remember, your links, your index status of any of your links will change daily. Yeah, not all of them, but depending on what you've done to them and what links you've pointed to them, the index status of these links can change any time. But it doesn't warrant checking this every day. Because it takes long enough to do this check on 170,000 links. So, I don't have time to do this every day. It's just physically impossible. Okay, the other thing, which I probably should point out, is, if you just want to work on individual campaigns, this is the stage I've got to now, because I've got, like I said, a shitload of tier 1 links. What I'm now starting to do is I'm starting to move away from the X8s, because I've used the X8s to create these tier 1 links. So the X8s for me now have done what they need to do. Now what I'm doing, I'm focusing on smaller groups of of keywords. So for example, if I want to rank for this keyword here, dental insurance UK, then what I am now doing with this particular project is identifying all of my links with that particular keyword phrase within all of my tiers. If I just click no and unknown, yeah. So that's now giving me all of my links that have my target phrase in there. Dental insurance UK, and if I show you how many of them there are in there, it's quite a few. So these are all the links that I've got with my target keyword phrase, dental insurance UK. I've also selected not indexed and unknown, but obviously you want to do your index check, identify the not indexed links, and then if I focus on getting these links indexed, then for that exact keyword phrase, as every single one of these links get indexed, my ranking will increase for this keyword. For this exact keyword phrase, simple as. Likewise, if I want to target this keyword phrase, dental insurance plans, then again what I will do, what I will do is use the same filter again, and then just copy URL. Let's see how many of those I got. Not many, oh dear. And again, I will take those URLs and put them into my other campaigns, and launch a full Monty on this, because remember these are the links the way I've done this particular filtering, these are links from any of my tiers, from all of my tiers. So to put these into another campaign would be pretty darn effective, especially because these links at the moment are showing as not indexed. So simply powering up these links, because they have my exact keyword phrase that I'm targeting, that will have a direct impact on my rankings for this exact keyword phrase. But obviously, as I said previously in the video, if you want to start looking at OBLs, yeah, that's fine, no problem. You could even go to filtering as far as your domain page rank and just focus on the higher PR domains. You can, no problem. Me personally, what I like to do, my initial focus is to just hit the non-index links, because getting them indexed, that's the main priority. That will have an initial impact on your rankings. And then obviously after that, the next focus then is to focus on building your tiers. Looking at your tier 1 links, build more links to them. Then look at your tier 2 links, build more links to those. Focus on your tier 3 links, build more links to those. And so on and so forth. You get the idea. But obviously, with every tier of link that you build, you then create an additional problem for yourself, because you then have more links which you need to then try and index. So, using this strategy of building lots of tier 1s, then lots of tier 2s, lots of tier 3s, the more tiers you want to build, you're going to have to start planning in more tools, more resources, access to more indexing services, because, as you can see it from my particular example here, a live example, mind, the more links you build, you just create more work for yourself. But for me, really, what will be the easiest thing for me to do will be to take all of my tier 1 links here, and simply throw them into an X8 profile nuke, because that's going to make 21,000 links. So, if I take groups of these links here and put that in the profile nuke, then potentially that's going to, build a lot of links from high PR sites to all of these links, with automation, with minimal effort. I don't need to write content, don't need to write articles to use the profile nuke, which is why I love using it so much. Okay, now, aside from that, there are some, let me just stop this now, there are some other little handy features within the software, which you may or may not find useful. Let's just wait for this to finish. Okay, there's just a few more things I want to show in terms of reporting, really. Firstly, there is this summary button here, which if you click, it actually gives you a summary of all of the links within your project, which is pretty useful for seeing a snapshot of exactly what's going on with your entire site. Certainly very useful if you have a project such as mine, where you put all your links from all your campaigns and tools into one single project. And you can see here it's got indexing statistics as well. So in terms of how many actual links I have indexed, also how many are active, how many are missing or dead. So this is quite a useful way of just seeing a snapshot of the links that you have within your particular campaign. That's the first thing. The other things I want to show you is the scheduler feature. It actually has a built-in scheduler, and it's pretty easy just to go through. It's pretty self-explanatory. Just click on new, and there's an actual wizard in here which you can scroll through. You can select the project you want to schedule. You can choose how often you want to run the schedule, date and time as well. You can set it for. This I don't use, just skip past that. And then also you can actually generate reports as well. You can even choose a location where you want to save on your hard drive. So if you just go all the way through, and then again you can send an email notification. This I personally don't use it on this particular thing, because I'm in and out of this tool every single day. But certainly if you have clients and you want to send reports to people, then yes, you can select this option here and simply type in the email address of who it's going to, and then click next, and that will finish and it'll set up a schedule. So that's quite a useful feature. Now, in terms of using that email feature, though, what you will have to do is configure the email settings. So you can see here I've already configured mine. This is the format that you want to use. Now, my particular domain for SIG SEO, it is a cPanel, and this is the format you want to use. So for SMTP server, you want to use your mail dot whatever your domain is, and then put a colon and put 26 on the end. Your SMTP username will normally be your email address, but instead of the @ symbol, you'll have a plus symbol instead. Your password will be whatever the password is for that email account on your actual domain, and then you just put in your sender address as well, who it's going to be sent from. And then once you've got those settings in there, fingers crossed, if you've done it right, if you click on test email settings, you should hopefully get confirmation like so to say that the settings are okay. So as long as you got this test message sent okay, then you know that your settings in here are okay and correct. And that's important to do if you want to use the scheduler feature as well. Okay, that's pretty much it. If you got any questions on this, or if you need any more features explained, or if you have even suggestions for more features on this software, let me know. You know where to find me in the forum, where I usually am. Thanks.